Hello all. Saw this drama happening, and I've worked for the prison system as a psych professional for around a decade, and we've learned a lot of different incident commander procedures. Incident commander procedures have to deal with when there's an incident of an unusual encounter. There's definitely a person that has to be assigned as in hierarchy of who takes the shot call. And so in this examined video, we noticed that there is no clear shot caller here. There's several different issues that happen throughout this whole entire incident, because in every incident, there's not just one person that's at fault. Maybe there's a distribution of everybody has their own play of what they could have done better. Now, a lot of people are talking bad about Pirate, but I'm trying to focus more on the problem points that we can discuss that could be optimized in a procedure like this. So I'm going to play from here. Right here we are in Dire Maul. Level 60, super serious, people can die, and they did. And they're coming up to a boss here, and so my understanding is they're going to place an icon on the boss, so they're aware that the boss is coming up. So it's not like they're oblivious to the idea that this is a potential factor. They know that's coming up, they have to be aware of that, so they have to build around it. But right now what's happening is, what we're going to see is not very much talking about strategy. We're going to be hearing people do a lot of chatter. In an incident is not helpful. For example, if I'm in an incident, someone is bleeding out or someone is in some sort of hostage situation, we don't want someone that goes, hey, do you want fries later with my burger? No, we don't want that. We want people that are going to stay on topic here, especially when there's such high-level hardcore. Anyone that participates in the chatter is part of the problem when it comes to disrupting focus, because any information can be taxing intellectually. They're going to be talking about some stuff that doesn't matter, and it's going to take them a lot of time to think about that. The person who starts the chatter is Oxy. So we're going to play the video.
It's the same thing that happens in the wild. You have animals that will die.
So right now they're doing chatter.
It's so that when the spring comes by, they're not consuming a whole bunch of resources.
Let's see when they put it on the... right here, I'm pausing it because we see that there is the diamond icon has gone out. They know where the boss is at. So now they have to be aware of that. Now, my understanding is Pirate, he might have had to wait for a better fight. It doesn't seem like he's really talking about that right now. Right now he's talking about animal stuff that has nothing to do with the fact that they're about to go against a boss that can very well and ends up killing them. They're coming up here, they're waiting. They see him. There's side things they should clear while they wait for the boss, just in case they can pull it. Because what happens is when they pull the boss, there's a lot of wide aggro. So if they kill that side people, let me back it up, those people right there, those are the ogres that they'd be really easy to take out. So that way, when they do the pulls, they can pull them back in that sector while they're waiting for the boss to move around. Now we look, they've just engaged it, so he engaged it from pretty close up. So right now they're still doing chatter. That's nothing to do with the fact that they're right next to two patrols, because there's a patrol right back there that, if we can see on the screen, there's the hyena that's back there that is a part of the other patrol, I believe. Now, they should be pulling back right now. They should also be line of sighting because this is a caster ogre. But right now, none of that discussion is going to be happening. All the discussion is going to be about, it's going to be about Brian Johnson, the longevity specialist, who's really, it's a great concept, but it's not the right time for this conversation. They're not doing any very well conversation management, and instant commanders would know this. We're getting into an incident right here. Every single poll, especially in a dungeon like this, is an incident. It's an unusual encounter. Yeah, so they pulled the second boss. So this wouldn't be that big of a deal if they pulled back. So right now, all I see is Oxy started a conversation he shouldn't have started. I see Pirates engaged with the random chatter with the tank. That's the tank's fault when it comes to starting that chatter that was not necessary. And then Pirate, as a more wiser player, he should have known not to engage in this type of chatter that's irrelevant if he takes the game seriously. It's like a smoke in the fire. They're killing the small non-elite minions, and they are killing the elites, but they're not really pulling them back. So this is when they're going to start calling run.
Okay, so
The diamond back there is the boss. So, whoa, oopsie, the boss is here. I want to talk a lot about the tank right now, because this is where he is messing up big time. He talked when he's not supposed to about something he's not supposed to. There is no clear shot caller. Pirate is engaging in a conversation he shouldn't be having. This guy has his tongue out, which is already haram. So anyway, so we're getting back into this. They're saying run, run, run. My understanding is Yamato's side of everything is he believes that when people call run, they don't really mean run away like is a zombie apocalypse. They're talking about backing up slowly and then trying to like throw out an ability now and then to help kite. Pirate needs to do some kiting stuff here because he's a mage. So right now they're in running action. So right now the big thing they have to focus on is pathing. That's one thing a part of the brain has to be thinking about and can get wrong. That's a potential failure point. In this, they do well. We're in the escape right now. They're trying to run. The only shot call that's ever gone out was the run, run, run. They never establish who's the shot caller. They never establish who's going to be the incident commander if something like this happens. So right now, it's just the dudes, the bros, trying to figure it out. And they have a misinterpretation of run. Now, the war chief, Tyler 1, he's already indicated, quote, play for yourself. That's understanding that there's not really any shot caller. They're just playing it through. And people are just saying things as they want to, but it's very non-professional, not very serious. They're not really trying to improve their ability to communicate to each other. And communication is a big factor here, that the people that should be communicating are the people that have the most knowledge, which is Pirate. That's one thing I could say negatively about him. But right now, let's get back to this feed right here is of Yamato. We're going to play this on his perspective. He's already eating his arm, so he's most likely panicking.
Just kill the mastiff. Yeah,
We're hearing directions to kill the mastiffs now. First, the shot call was to run. Now the shot call is to kill the mastiffs. So saying, oh, run, 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 run. Hold on, now there's a new shot call. One shot call isn't locked in for the rest of the entire event. Like, that's very fixed thinking. There's growth mind thinking of like, hey, this event is now growing into something else. Now let's talk about how it's changing. And one of the things they want to do is look at these small mastiffs. They're almost dead anyway. Get them out of the way. Right now, Yamato's doing something really good here. In an incident, the best question to ask is there anything else we can do? That's the best thing. Like when I respond to inmates, when I respond to patients, when I respond to clients, and I'm with a group of people, the best question to ask is, what else can we be doing? That is the professional thing to ask, that especially if I've run out of things. It's always trying to dig out of the people, what are some more options we can do? So Yamato's doing very well. He's shot calling of, hey, let's keep talking. What else can we be doing here? What are our options to be able to try to like salvage this? So they have some devices and some abilities that allow them to have damage control here. And so Yamato right now, he's trying to figure out what do they have. So right now, the healer, we don't talk much about the person who's healing, but they seem to be doing a good job, but I think that they played not for themselves, which is against the rules. And in this game, especially when there's no shot caller, right now they have to be playing for themselves, which they failed. That's the only thing I have to really say about the healer. If you die, something was wrong there. I do think that so far, a lot of this is Oxy's fault. Yamato has already said that he's looking for other things to do, and he's saying it's salvageable. But instead of trying to beg Pirate to engage in stuff, he just himself should just be going, okay, I'm going to be doing this ability or that ability, or shot calling other people to do other abilities. But again, it's the mage's responsibility to know what he has, not the rogue. They should be participating in the conversation of trying to find new options. When someone says run, they can change their mind. Like, we can say, like, but there is flip-flopping. It has to be very clear, direct, okay, let's kite this, which is more of a change of direction. Maybe they're just neurotic. Maybe they're just stuck, addicted to avoid change. After someone's calls run, that's just the end of the line, and then now we can just not think anymore. I don't think the call was to stop thinking. I think the call was to run. Now the call from the tank is, okay, let's kill off the mastiffs. Okay, so where's the frostbolts? Where's anything? Instead of saying, oh, it doesn't matter anyway. That's very plaque pill. That's very, oh, it doesn't matter anyway. So right now, the Druid, he got lazy here, where instead of pathing like Pirate, he pathed more towards the side. When cats walk, they put their back foot into where their front foot was beforehand. And that's because we want to make sure we go to where we were before. This is a very good tactic in like any guerrilla warfare to retrace the steps that have already been tested. All these other people are moving to this hand side. Just copy that. Don't try to go to another path that hasn't been tested yet. Like, go the safe path that's already been done multiple times, and the pathology has already been tested to be affirmative to be successful. But right here is when the Druid is jumping around, and I believe he aggroes a pack on the other side. Anytime I get to an incident, I show up, and we have to do crowd management, because we have to be able to make sure that the clients and the patients that are not involved have to be away from it. So in the same way, it's like, when it comes to these extra mobs and patrols, there should be someone that's thinking about that, not just crowd controlling with abilities, but crowd controlling of understanding positioning and an understanding pathing of which way should we use to get the egress, right? Because people that are in the moment of being like managing abilities, managing cooldowns, they can't really think that well. They're using a lot of the mental features to try to manage their abilities. They're not really thinking about the egress point, which is what Yamato could be doing. Yamato could be looking around, so that's a ding for Yamato there, that he could have had more situational awareness. There's path this way, because that way is the patrols. Pirate is just being a big black pill right now, like, what am I supposed to do for you? With his, like, duel of the cool voice, where he's trying to sound super cool with his voice. But it's just called long talking. When someone long talks, it takes them forever to get to their point and throws the conversation with a very slow pace of speaking. It's chatter. They need correct directives, just not enough mana. I have a mana gem. I don't want to click it. I'm saving it for the next... I'm saving it for tomorrow. I'm saving it for my next character. Use it first and then say I have no more mana. Don't not use it and then be like, I've tried everything, boys. It's like, no. Say, oh, what else can I do? That's the correct question. What else can I do? Rather than just going, oh, what do you want me to do about it? It's saying the same thing, but so much stupider. like, of all the ways to say things, the time it could take to say 5 sentences, just say 1 sentence. And very, very doomer. If he doesn't know what to do, just say, I don't know what to do. Not this, like, oh, you're stupid because you should already know I have nothing left. This is basically, like, his current point, which a lot of people that are playing hardcore, they want to be serious about it, and they don't want someone that is chattering with their long-spoken Gandalf speech to, like, be a boomer and not know, oh, hey, I polymorph. Should I polymorph someone? Wow, that could have been an option for the team, right? Imagine if this team had access to polymorphs. That'd be great. Like, hey, send something out, like one thing. Like, he literally has abilities for one spell, if that, but then send it. Oh, I only have ability for one spell. Then use it.
What am I supposed to do for you?
Just kill the master.
Oh, you're supposed to cast a couple of abilities here.
More on the way.
Yeah, cast the abilities. See, the thing is, he's asking Rhetorical. He doesn't want to know the answer. They tell him the answer. Do a thing. Do this. They're telling him what to do, and he's like, no. I asked the question. I didn't like the answer, so therefore it's a non-answer, and I'm going to keep saying how much I'm afraid. He's saying how much he's afraid, but he is extra stepping it. He's like, oh, by the way, my mana is my problem. I'm not my problem. My mana is holding my hands right now. But really, he's treating himself like he has 1 health left. That's his attitude right now. This game is really good for teaching management of incidences. And so it's like these are great cases to discuss how to have a better shot caller. And that if people are trying to play World of Warcraft and get better at something in their life, they should be practicing these communication skills. This is the fallout of where the war chief was having them both people in the beef, which is Yamato and Pirate.
Yeah, I want to speak to him because I didn't speak to him correctly. I said it again, we all did mistakes, bro. Like, I didn't say we are just blaming you. It's about the zero accountability.
I think it's just the turn taking has not been figured out here. I think that both people are in the wrong here. I think that it takes 2 to tangle. Hey, how much time do you want to speak? And I'll take that time to speak. If he respects his time of like, he doesn't waste his time with this peasant. Okay, sure. At least establish like, okay, I'm going to do 5 minutes to talk about this. Okay, let's do 1 minute, 60-second intervals, right? We have a moderator here, the war chief. He could have timed it too. The war chief could have have a timing of like, okay, each person has 60 seconds to say what they wanted to say. If someone interrupts them, they get punished in their time, right? And have a back and forth. Maybe have like a 10-minute content creation thing there. Wow, imagine they can get more content there. But instead, Pirate, for some reason I thought he was about content, but he's running away. That's one thing I don't like. I think Yamato was about having like an argument with him and wanted to have that back and forth, like maturation. Like he needs to hear real shit from a male mentor that can be like, hey, yo, this is what's going on. We're all going to take turns here. I'm going to time for 60 seconds. One guy gets to take a turn to talk, and then 60 seconds, another guy gets to take a turn to talk.
There's no zero accountability, dude. Everyone can do something better.
So they're talking over each other.
You open up and you yell over another person
Yeah.
like you were
I
doing.
speak?
Nah, I'm good.
You joined the call? See, like, he's so egoistic. It's
He's
insane,
gone, bro.
but this guy...
So right now, Yamato has to listen to Tyler 1's explanation. I think he's talking out of turn right here. Yamato should focus on the questions. He should find a begging question. Like when I worked in Supermax, they said to focus on the question. Before I can ask a question that's worthy, people in the prison system don't respect people that can't ask good questions. It's all about asking questions because questions challenge consciousness. If Yamato wants to get a good lesson here, constructive criticism, frame what he's saying in a question. Questions can completely reshift the whole entire frame of everything that's going on here. You can say, hey, can we time some sessions here? Why did he not want to use his mana gem? Boom. That's his one question he could have shot-called out there, been like, boom, hey. Because this right here is an incident of itself. This encounter with these people and talking to each other, this is an incident of crucial conversations. When stuff like this happens, when a group of stuff like this happens, it's good to separate them and have Tyler 1 talk to each individual. Like, I've had it before where I would have multiple inmates walk up to me and ask me to talk to each one of them to tell me which one I thought was the weakest link in the story that they were telling. So each one of them came up to me and told me their individuated story until I was like, okay, that person is the person that their story doesn't really make much sense. So I think that they're the ones that the culprit was going on here. That's one way to negotiate issues, is to have a third-party person just listen to each person's story and then figure out who tells the worst narrative. That's really what it happens, because if people have a very convoluted story, it tends to mean that either they are incompetent at being able to tell stories, which that in itself is negligence and should be kicked off the team, because people should be able to tell their own story. What can we actually learn from this? So there needs to be much more clear leadership, a better streamline of hierarchy of who makes the decision. Maybe have someone who can have the safe word for like, hey, everybody, we got to focus upon this. We should have a better personal resource management. Like people should write down what resources they have in these situations. Do we have a clear list of abilities that each class has at their disposal so that each person clearly knows which abilities they could use in a moment like this? Focus on self-improvement rather than social policing. That's another thing that was happening, is where they're trying to purity test and they're trying to say, hey, he's not saying I'm sorry enough. So it's like a goalpost of like, how far are they going to try to purity test him? What happened already happened. It's like now they're just trying to attention explain it. So it's focus on self-improvement, try to do some books to get communication skills if you have failure of communication. So a master maps his opposition. To steelman everybody else's arguments, let's map out what are all the different tools that they all could use. What is all the possibility things that they could have done wrong, make a vignette about this of all the different options available for the next time so that they can actually pull up the sheet of being like, okay, who's going to be on the con, which would be Yamato. He would be the one that's communicating an egress of saying, okay, we have a patrol over there, we have to avoid that. Next is eliminate distractions. During incidents like this, do not do long talking. Don't take too long to say what you're going to say. Either shit or get off the pot. Don't talk about conversations that are not WoW related when they're in a really, really serious pull. So this framing allows us to analyze drama and reinforcing the overarching theme of play for yourself while also trying to figure out what can I do to try to do better next time? Yeah, so this is battlefield philosophy. We're trying to use philosophy and consider things to be a battlefield to try to think about like what's going on, how's it going on, why it happened, the purpose of what's going on there, why are they all here? Now, I understand that this is like a meme gang. They should also have some positive memes, that memes are strategic memories of improving ourselves. Okay, what memes are actually helpful for us to actually do better when we're asked to perform? Like the performance of this character playing this class, because I think this is a really good spot for people that are young in their young 20s, the young bucks that are trying to learn like, okay, how do I actually learn how to communicate better when real shit starts hitting the fan? Or are they just going to open their mouth the whole time? Hey, thanks for joining me. I also have a server you can join where you can talk about this more. And we also have other games we can play, because we don't just play World of Warcraft or League of Legends or any of these other games. We all try to play different games together and try to join together in discussing how to do better. Thank you.